Right, one more video before I walk out the door. Silver core cables. I'll never go back. So even in this system, those are Wire World Gold Eclipse. I think they're a Series 5. They're silver core, and the digital, which is a Kimber Select, I think it's 2030 maybe, or 2020, something like that. They're both silver core cables. They're sublime, they're absolutely fantastic. Now in this system, it's all solid state. We're using a power amp which is famous for being dry and analytical. And by rights this should be making my ears bleed, but it doesn't. What it's doing to me, when I moved, that whole journey of upgrading cables, starting, from the years when I couldn't care less and I shoved whatever cable came with the component, to slowly upgrading until I discovered silver core cables. Those upgrades for me were really more psychological than anything else. The biggest difference I noticed with good quality cables was that they're reliable, that they fit properly, they connect well, they're reliable cables that do the job that they were supposed to do. And as I sort of worked up that food chain and bought more and more expensive cables, and I'll tell you now, I don't think I've ever purchased a brand new set of cables in my life. These are all secondhand. But yeah, so the difference was never remarkable. And then moving to a silver core cable, and those Gold Eclipse interconnects were the first step there, and it was remarkable. It was absolutely amazing to hear this delicate detail, and that is what my ears are hearing, is delicate detail. There is no in my ears, there is no sharpness or crispness that people associate with silver core cables. This is not an overly bright system in spite of the components it's made up of. It's certainly very detailed, and the soundstage takes advantage of that level of detail. But no, it doesn't hurt my ears. It is a system that I listen to all day and every day, and I'm actually going to go against the grain on this and say that what silver core cables have done for me is to actually not only unveil that detail, but actually to remove some of that sharpness and replace it with detail that you can really hear, that you can identify. That's what it's done for me. So absolutely not. I will not. All of my secondary cables, I've got a cabinet full of high-end cables that I daren't sell because I won't get the money back for them. But I just will not use anymore because nothing else will do. They really, silver core cables are a giant leap forward after copper core. Now, as you've seen there, those Wire World cables are generations out of date. I mean, they're Series 5. They would have come out in maybe the mid to late 90s or something. There've been many generations. I think they're on a Series 9 or a Series 10 now, with completely different architecture, totally different sort of architecture, geometry, I think it's what you would call it. So that will be the next bit of fun. As soon as I find a later generation of cables secondhand at a reasonable price, I will jump to that and see what difference that makes. And of course, the next step will be to replace those Wire World Eclipse speaker cables. And those are old tech. I would like to replace those at some point. I think they are technically shielded cables. I think the ground is wrapped around the core, so that geometry has gone out of the window and been replaced by twisted pairs and strands. I've tried a number of cheaper Kimber braided cables, and certainly they've been very good. At the moment, these they're here. They are. These are absolute pythons. They're incredibly stiff. They're unwieldy. They're not nice to handle at all. But so far, they're the benchmark that I have. I actually replaced the other end here. I just bought some silver AudioQuest BFA plugs, and they seem to fit and work rather nicely. But yeah, so that'll be the next change, and getting silver core speaker cables will be, well, let's see, let's find out. I'll let you know how that all happens, but I've got to justify that, and sort of, you know, the next second-hand equivalent for a decent set of silver core speaker cables is getting on for 3,000 or 4,000 Kiwi dollars, which I just can't justify right now, but I'll get them one day.